Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to do my birthday book haul. Super late. But like I mentioned last time, I was sick and I was gone for a long time, so everything's a little bit late. This is just over a month after my birthday. I've got a huge stack of books behind me, so let's get started. The first book I want to tell you about is a book from my booktube bestie Kristen. Her channel is Enter the Book, and she sent me her favorite, well, I think it was her favorite memoir so far of this year, Beneath the Tamarind Tree, a story of courage, family, and the lost schoolgirls of Boko Haram. She gave this book 5 stars. In the early morning of April 14th, 2014, the militant Islamic group Boko Haram violently burst into the small town of Chibok, Nigeria, and abducted 276 girls from their school dorm rooms. From poor families, these girls were determined to make better lives for themselves, but pursuing an education made them targets, resulting in one of the most high-profile abductions in modern history. So this book is about what happened to those girls that night and what happened to them after that. And I think Kristen said it follows 4 of the girls' stories. And she absolutely loved this book. She also said that it's on audiobook, and she wants me to, because she knows that I love doing this, she wants me to read the book and listen to the audiobook at the same time. And I really do believe that when we love a book and we give that book to someone that we care about, we're giving them a piece of our heart. So this is a very special gift for me, and I'm very excited to read it. And I think it's a very beautiful cover too. So my dad sent me a gift card for my birthday. I decided that we really needed a new DVD player. So I got that with my birthday money, and I had a little bit left over. So I grabbed 2 books that were on my wish list. The first one that I grabbed, or I shouldn't say the first, they were both on there, but one of them was an author. I just did a ARC book of hers that she sent me to review, and I really liked the book, genuinely. And she had another series that she wrote, or is still writing. She's a cozy mystery author, and I wanted to start this other series from the beginning, and this is the first book in that series. I'm going to read the back of this book and the back of the next one. I won't read the synopsis of all the books because I don't want to bore you guys, but on some of them I will. And look at this cover too. Is this not beautiful? And she dedicated this book to Nancy Drew, which I just love that she dedicated this book to, I don't know if she's her favorite character, but the fact that she dedicated this book to a protagonist, I just thought that was very beautiful. Since childhood, Courtney has loved fairies. After her mother died when Courtney was 10, she lost touch with that feeling of magic. A year ago, at age 29, she rediscovered it when she left her father's landscaping business to spread her wings and start a fairy garden business and tea shop in beautiful Carmel, California. At Open Your Imagination, she teaches garden design and sells everything from fairy figurines to tinkling wind chimes. Now she's starting a book club tea. But the light of the magical world she's created inside her shop is darkened one night when she discovers neighboring dog grooming business owner Mick Watkins dead beside her patio fountain. To make matters worse, the police suspect Courtney of the crime. To clear her name and find the real killer, Courtney will have to wing it. But she's about to get a little help from an unexpected source. I really wanted to start one of her series from the beginning, and I'm in kind of a fairy mood lately. Have you ever been in a fairy mood? If you have, you know exactly what I mean. Next up, this is a indie author. His name is Braedon Riddick, and the book is called Ungodly. And the reason I decided to get this book, he actually read a chapter of this book live on Instagram, and his writing is nothing short of spectacular. And I had to get the book. I had to, after hearing this chapter. Wicked phenomena strike the isolated campus of Palisade Mountain College. A homeless man sees his dead son in an abandoned dormitory, pursues the boy inside, and meets his demise. In the dark of night, a student witnesses a man plummet from a high-rise, a surefire suicide, but the detectives find no body. A campus police officer on patrol suddenly develops a taste for rape and a homicidal hunger. The townspeople always sensed an intangible wrongness on the mountain, even before the evil enigma was afoot. So you will hear probably pretty soon, shoot, I can't remember my schedule. I figured out my schedule for the most part for a few months, and I know when I'm reading this, but I can't remember. But you'll hear what I think sometime soon, so stay tuned if you're interested in knowing. The rest of the books are all from my mom. My mom had asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I really am at that point in my life where I just don't really, I'm not a kid anymore, so I don't really have all these things that I want anymore. But I always want books, especially collectible books, or in my mind, collectible books, or I probably have mentioned before, I lost all of my book collection years ago. I had a pretty terrible ex who threw all my books away when we broke up to get back at me. I know that's pretty mean, right? Most of these books are books that I never really meant to get rid of. And there's 2 books I have not ever read. And I'm just very, very excited about these books. Some of them I've been looking for a very long time. And I've been going to thrift shops and used bookstores and everything I could think of to try to find these. What I ended up telling my mom was, send me a eBay gift card, and then that way I can get some of these books that I've been wanting for so long. I read The Shining in the Thrill a Month book club. And I originally read The Shining in high school, and I started thinking, I would love to read my favorite Stephen King books from the past again now and see if I still love them. So I got some of them, and I'm really excited to read them again. So without further ado, in case you're dying to hear about my favorite Stephen King books, because they might surprise you. They might not be the ones that most people say are their favorites. Dolores Claiborne. I love this book. I think it is a masterpiece. A lot of people won't agree with me, and that's okay. I also love the movie. I think it is one of the best, sorry about the glare, I think it's one of the best movie adaptations of a book out there. It's pretty. I love this cover. This book is about a lady named Dolores Claiborne. I know, the title of the book kind of gave it away, right? Dolores is, from what I remember of this book, Dolores is, she's a bitch. I don't know how else to say it. If I remember correctly about her, by the end of the book, though, she's kind of one of those women that I thought of as like kind of a, oh, I love that bitch kind of people. Now, will I feel that way now? I don't know. But from what I remember in this book, basically, she had a abusive husband and she had a daughter, and she has a boss named Vera, who is this grand dame, rich woman on this island, and she is her caretaker. She's Vera's caretaker. And Vera dies in her care, and she's having to explain to the cops what happened to Vera. And that's what this book is. So she's explaining her whole life and what led up to tonight. And that's what I remember about this book. Obviously, once I read it, I can explain it much better. The jacket doesn't really do much justice to explaining what the book is about. I do really enjoy the movie, and I do remember after reading the book, watching the movie and thinking it was really good. But I do think, if I remember correctly, there are some changes to the story between the book and the movie. So I'm really looking forward to reading this again and then watching the movie again. But I do really like Kathy Bates, and I do really like Jennifer Jason Leigh. So that might be part of why I like the movie so much. Hi, Zelda. But if you've read this, let me know. And let me know if you love it. Or even if you don't, let me know. We don't have to agree on everything. The next one that is a Stephen King book, and my friend AJ actually reminded me that this was not a Stephen King book. This was a Richard Bachman book. I've read this book probably 5 or 6 times. I loved it so much. But I haven't read it since all my books were thrown away that fateful day. Over 20 years ago. But I have a copy now. And I'm sorry if these books, I haven't had a chance to clean them up yet since they arrived. Since I was sick and everything. Thinner. Oh my gosh, I love this book. I love it. And like I said, if you don't like it, that's okay. I won't be offended, but I love it. This movie did not really do the book much justice, I don't think. I don't think the movie was done very well. In fact, I hope they redo the movie at some point, because this book was... And I can't wait to reread this one either, obviously, or I wouldn't have bought it. But Billy Halleck, good husband, loving father, is both beneficiary and victim of the American good life. He has an expensive home, a nice family, and a rewarding career as a lawyer. But he is also 50 pounds overweight, and as his doctor keeps reminding him, edging into heart attack country. Then, in a moment of carelessness, Billy sideswipes an old gypsy woman as she is crossing the street, and her ancient father passes a bizarre and terrible judgment on him. Thinner, the old gypsy man whispers and caresses his cheek like a lover. Just one word, but 6 weeks later, and 93 pounds lighter, Billy Halleck is more than worried. He's terrified and desperate enough for one last gamble that will lead him to a nightmare showdown with the forces of evil melting his flesh away and away and away. The next book is another replacement book. So my stepdad gave me this book. He read it and he thought it was good. And that was something that was kind of a family tradition in the house that I grew up in. We all kind of, not that we all read the exact same books, but there was some books that if one of us liked a book and thought the other ones would read it, all of us would cycle through the same books. And my stepdad read this book, and I don't know if my mom and my stepsister read it or not, but I do know that he gave me this book, and he thought that I would like it. And I must have, for whatever reason, I did keep it and read it more than once. So it was one of the books that I ended up needing to replace. But this was the book that opened up my love of horror novels originally. And this was the first book that I remember giving me insomnia. The first book that really just gave me that love of books, making me just that love of a book being so good that I couldn't put it down to go to sleep, and scaring me into not wanting to go to sleep. And that is Funhouse by Dean Koontz. Once there was a girl who ran away and joined a traveling carnival. She married a man she grew to hate and gave birth to a child she could never love. A child so monstrous that she killed it with her own hands. 25 years later, Ellen Harper has a new life, a new husband, and 2 normal children. Joey loves monster movies, and Amy is about to graduate from high school. But their mother drowns her secret guilt in alcohol and prayer. The time has come for Amy and Joey to pay for her sins. Because Amy is pregnant, and the carnival is coming back to town. This book was so scary. And it was so good. And I hope I still feel the same way about it. I want to read it right around Halloween. This next book, after reading The Dutch House and falling so in love with that book, I had asked if anyone thought I should read any more of her books. Everyone said yes, read pretty much all of them. And I did decide to go ahead and get this book, and I am going to be doing a buddy read with someone with this book, and I'm very excited. I found this copy of it, and that is The Magician's Assistant. And I love this copy. I love this cover is what I mean, not the copy, but isn't that pretty? When Parsifal, a handsome and charming magician, dies suddenly, his widow Sabine, who is also his faithful assistant for 20 years, learns that the family he claimed to have lost in a tragic accident is very much alive and well. Sabine is left to unravel his secrets, and the adventure she embarks upon, from sunny Los Angeles to the bitter windswept plains of Nebraska, will work its own magic on her. Sabine's extraordinary tale captures the heart of its readers, just as Sabine is captured by her request. And apparently this book is superb. I've heard that from more than one person. I've been wanting this book for eons, and I'm so mad. Now, this is a book that I got rid of. Actually, all these books I got rid of on my own accord. I think sometimes as a kid, you read a book and you enjoy it and you think, okay, well, I've outgrown that book. I'm more mature now and I can read bigger girl books, you know. And that's what happened with all these books. But now I'm a bigger girl and I want to read younger girl books again. So, Double Love by Francine Pascal, Sweet Valley High #1. Will Jessica steal Todd from Elizabeth? If you've read these books, you know the answer. But I want to read at least this book, if not, I'm not going to read the whole series again. That's a lot of books. That's hundreds of books. But I definitely want to read this book, if not some of these books again. And I'm so excited to read the Wakefield twins books again. I used to listen to Debbie Gibson cassettes over and over and over again on my Walkman when I would read these books. And I plan on doing that again. Well, not on my Walkman and not cassettes, but I'm going to do that again though. I'm going to put Debbie Gibson songs on continuous repeat in my earphones on Spotify. Just for old time's sake, you know? I got, and I have not read this book, by the way, but I want to get the Super Chiller Sweet Valley Twins books, or at least the first 5 of them if I can. And I got The Christmas Ghost And I do want to read these. I think these would be so fun to read around Christmas time. Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield are looking forward to the most glorious Christmas ever. The tree is trimmed, the presents are wrapped, and movie star Bo Dillon is coming to town. Ooh! The actor who will be in Sweet Valley to publicize his new movie has agreed to help Elizabeth raise money for the children's wing of the local hospital. But when the teen star arrives at the Wakefield's house, it's Jessica, not Elizabeth, he meets. Oh no. What's the harm in pretending to be your twin? No harm, Jessica thinks, until strange things start happening and 3 ghostly visitors appear. Is Jessica's imagination working overtime, or have the spirits of Christmas past, present, and future come to teach Jessica the lesson of a lifetime? Oh, that sounds fun. And I got some books that really take me back. Some CareBears books. A Friend for Francis. The Witch Down the Street. And the book, the one that started it all. I mean, I'm not kidding. We wouldn't be sitting here together right now if it wasn't for this book. This is the book that started my obsession with books. Dreams for Sally. Which Zelda's middle name is Sally. I'm just saying. That is how much I loved this book as a little girl. And I remember I used to have, like any kid, I used to have nightmares as a little girl. And my mom used to say, all you have to do is picture this book and think about CareBears sliding down rainbows and landing in clouds before you go to bed at night, and you won't have nightmares. And it used to work. The nights that I would picture that before falling asleep, it would work. It was only the nights that I didn't do that I would have nightmares. And so to this day, when I've struggled with nightmares or had my panic attacks, I'll still do that, and it still works. And so I've been looking for this book for years and never have found it anywhere. And I finally found this one on eBay, and I'm just so excited to have found it. And I love the images in here too. I was just so into this book. And I know a lot of people, when they talk about their favorite first book, it's always you know, a book without pictures. But for me, well, when I started reading, it was before I started school. So this was probably the first book that I was looking at when I started reading. But and then after this, I guess my favorite book was probably the Ramona Quimby series. I really liked that one, but this was the first book that I remember really loving. What a great birthday gift, right? So all of these are wonderful, and I'm so excited to read them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments that you want to make about any of the books, let me know. Or if there's any books that just really get you excited to read them again. Any books that you don't have anymore that you want to read again, that you are desperately looking for, that they're that good that you have to have them in your life again so that you can reread them. Let me know what they are. I want to know. Maybe I'll find a way to get them and read them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Zelda is officially sleeping and lightly snoring over there, so she's not going to say goodbye, but happy reading. Bye.